A few years ago, Microsoft estimated that more than 30 million PowerPoint presentations are delivered every day. My own experience suggests that at least 95% of these are terrible. The rest will range from bad to merely okay. Honestly, how often do you get to the end of a class, a presentation or a speech and feel positively affected by it? Over the years, I've been affected in a bad way by thousands of presentations, the kind that made me want to put out my eyes, sprinkle salt on them and eat them because it might make me feel better. I want to talk about the kind of presentation that makes you like the presenter, trust them, engage with them, embrace their ideas. My colleague Jeremy Bullmore talks about good advertising being the invention of a stimulus that creates a predetermined reaction among a complicit audience. The same definition applies to a good presentation. It's a catalyst, a means to an end. It has a clear objective, and it's designed to engage the audience as active participants in the communication, not as passive subjects. Steven Spielberg once said, "I make movies for the masses, but I talk to them one at a time." That principle also applies to presentations because an audience is really a collection of individuals, each of whom has different expectations and prejudices, and will almost certainly react differently to what you say. An effective presentation finds ways to engage those individuals one at a time. And this means engaging with them as humans. They might have fancy titles on their business cards, but they also have lives, families, interests, hopes, fears, pets, and, in most cases, a sense of humour. So address the person, not the rank. And the more you know about those individuals and how they interact, the better. Who will make the ultimate decision? Who might influence them? Your task is to create connections between the existing knowledge, experience, and ambitions of individual audience members, the problems they're facing, the broader human and cultural context, and the idea that you want them to embrace. If audience members can be led to make these connections themselves, it becomes personal. A coffee shop near my home has a coin-filled jar on its counter labelled tips. It's a simple statement, leaving no room for interpretation, and certainly no desire to donate. Another cafe nearby is run by a couple of surfers. Their tip jar says, "Mexico 2018. I contribute and live vicariously through their next trip." While a third down the street says, "Good tippers make great lovers." I always give generously. Good presentations are always simple. The shortest pitch I ever made to Porsche contained just one slide, and the slide contained one word that I said both summed up their problem and suggested a solution. The word was asshole. Porsche had to address the asshole factor that made their car less attractive to potential buyers worried about what others might think of them and their purchase. Keeping it simple also means using normal conversational language, avoiding all that MBA bullshit about leveraging core competencies or reaching out to key stakeholders. As David Ogilvy once said, jargon words are the hallmark of a pretentious ass. A multitude of research studies suggest that what you say in a presentation is less important than how you say it. Conviction, confidence, and passion are contagious. Facts alone will seldom persuade, and if you don't believe me, read Jeffrey Toobin's book or watch the TV series about the O.J. Simpson trial. Like the defense team in that trial, you have to tell a compelling story, a story that brings your message to life and enables audience members to relate to it, be moved by it. As for how to present, remember the meaning of the phrase visual aids. If visuals help your communication, use them. If they get in the way, which they often do, discard them. When a presentation is requested, the default reaction is often to fire up PowerPoint or Keynote and start creating slides. But as Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Churchill and others have shown, it is quite possible to make an effective presentation without the use of any visuals. If you do need them, a few well-chosen handheld boards can create a more personal, interactive effect. If I'm making a slide presentation, I never create it in slides. I start with post-it notes, one thought written on each, and then I move them around until I have both the right content and the right order. I then craft a one-page prose summary of what I intend to say. Only then do I start creating slides, and never using more than 6 or 7 words on each. I prepare carefully, paying special attention to a plan B. How will I tell my story if the technology fails? That's where the one-page prose summary comes in very useful, and handheld board technology never fails. Then I rehearse several times. Some say rehearsal kills spontaneity, but I'm with Winston Churchill. Spontaneity, he said, is far too important to be left to chance.